What was it again?
I'm just like over here.
Why do you think there's so many laws in society against women? Like Islam is one of the most prominent ones.
Why do you think all major
Like-
societies have had laws restricting the behavior of women?
I don't know. Maybe because like
All right, Jess, next.
Specifically, I think because.
Oh, were you going to answer?
yeah, I was gonna say
Oh, okay.
something, but it's
For
okay.
real, just like no.
Okay.
We want to hear
I was
you.
gonna say maybe just because like that's like their religion. I don't know. Maybe that's like just yeah.
Jess?
I think mainly just because then women will start thinking like that. Like, hello?
You mean like guys are so infatuated with a woman's body that we've taken advantage of what we can do with it, and then they realized it. We realized it.
All right,
both
the pen
sides
struggle.
So-
are
Wait.
playing
Let's just move it
Yeah.
on. Let's just move it
No
on.
problem. Well, let me
Sorry,
just give
guys.
the
Okay,
Reader's
he doesn't
Digest
like my
answer here.
No, that's
Society also governs men's behavior for a reason. So they tailor in laws that govern to men's behavior because men have an ontology. We recognize that in law. We recognize that there might be behavior which is perhaps more violent or more vitriolic or various things like this, and temper that in. Why wouldn't you do the same thing for women? It makes total sense. If you have laws tailored towards men, why wouldn't you have it tailored towards women's nature as well? That's why that exists.
Interesting. So are you talking like the ways in which men and women the ways in which aggression will manifest differently between men and women? For example, men will be physically violent and women will they can be violent, but they'll resort to like reputation destruction, for example.
Sure.
Is that kind of what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
and so what happens is because most places, especially those with a religious connotation, don't think that we're blank slates. They don't think that men and women are interchangeable widgets. So they tailor societal laws based on that. That's why. So they go, okay, there's things that we see which are very common with women, things which we see which are very common for men, and we tailor laws between men and women for that reason. That makes total sense, by the way. Why wouldn't that make sense?
Well, why don't we see Playgirl, and why don't we see guys in Speedos and like
You
like,
do.
all like
You do.
why aren't they like
Why aren't they
putting
what?
their bodies out there like women are and prostituting themselves on the corner where with like why aren't they doing
well,
that?
so
Instead of
it's a
dressing
matter.
like
It's a matter of.
sissies.
Yeah, I think I understand
Not
what
dressing
you're saying.
like sissies, like dressing like men. Like
Yeah, I think
and
I
trying to
understand
get
what you're
money
saying.
like that. I just
Let me.
I guess we
sorry.
made those rules for ourselves.
Quick
rules
answer
for
if you can,
ourselves.
Andrew.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure I get it right. You're saying why is it that you don't see men acting as though they're women?
Like hookers on the street, not dressed as hookers.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, well, I mean,
I
it's
think we
it's supply and demand.
Yeah.
Because we understand a man's nature is different than a woman's nature, it's very easy for women to get sex from basically whoever they want. If you go out with a sign tomorrow and say, come over here and have sex with me, there'll be a never-ending amount of men who will line up. However, if you do the opposite, if a man goes out with a sign,
Well, why
it's
is
not going to be
that?
the same thing. So what we're looking at is we're looking at the difference between the nature of the two.
yeah,
But then the problem really comes in as who writes these laws and writes all of the things in the first place, because the majority of times women aren't really involved in the creation
Good.
of all of these.
I agree, good, because women are emotional
Good.
and they're gonna.
Oh, damn. Oh,
Okay.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, like women are emotional and we don't always think logically. And so when men make the laws, it's just for boundaries. And I look at it even like from a biblical perspective is like God gave us boundaries. It's like going back to the men who are leaders. Why? Because they hopefully are submitted to
You
God.
look pretty skeptical, but let me ask you a question. Like I see the skeptical look on your face. I think that's fair. Have you ever heard this phrase? Wait till your father gets home. Have you ever heard that phrase?
yes, yes,
Yes, except I was more
now-
afraid of my mother.
yeah.
And she
Yeah,
was the one who pushed
Hang on,
the
just
punishment.
stop. The common, wait till your father gets home. This implies what? That the father is going to what?
Discipline and make the
Discipline.
choice.
That
Yeah.
I discipline.
And that generally they're better at it. You know what you don't hear in society? You know what you never hear? Wait till your mother gets home. Nobody ever, it's so
I mean,
rare.
unless
It's
you're in a black
beyond-
culture,
Unless
then
you have a weak father figure.
the black men are very reverent
so
of the
hang
mothers.
on, listen. There's going to be exceptions to all rules. There could
no,
be
no,
a household.
no.
Hang on, there could be a household somewhere where it's wait till your mom gets home. But for the most part, it's wait till your dad gets home. And the reason is why? Because the father is generally considered the disciplinarian. Why? Because the ontology of men is different than women. And so when you look at it, you look at who's the kid going to be more afraid of? Why are they going to be more afraid of it? What's going to get him more in line? It's
My
not going to
mother.
be mom. It's going to be dad with the belt, right?
Or with his big ass hand.
Or the one who controls the dad with a belt.
I don't even, but we're not even allowed
Anyways,
to spank
hold on.
anymore, are we?
You
it's
you said
illegal
something
now.
about black households.
Yeah, what the heck was that about?
Anybody
Yeah, so
care
I
to
just
weigh
have
in?
I just have a lot of experience with
Pros-
black culture, and I have noticed that the
Well-
average black man coming to me is much more respectful of me as like a single mom, especially because the ones that I've been dealing with,
They
at
grew
least,
up with single
they were
moms.
always single moms, and so maybe the dad would have been the disciplinarian, but in large part they weren't even around really.
Wait, that
Is this
I don't think
racist?
that, yeah.
I'm not saying it has to be racial.
think that
It's more of a
applies to
cultural
all
thing. No, it
black
doesn't. It
people.
definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't.
Now,
I'm simply talking
listen,
about what I've experienced.
As a white man, I don't feel like it's, you know, it's not my space to speak on this topic.
Yeah.
I'd like to defer to a black woman
Oh.
on this.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was definitely afraid of my dad. Whenever my mom said, I'm going to tell your father or wait till your father gets home, I was fucking scared. Because I wasn't afraid of my mom with the belt. I would always act like it hurt just so she would stop. But then when I knew that my dad was coming home, I would literally cry and beg to her, please don't tell dad. Because I knew he was about to discipline me. Like, he's
Sure.
scary.
And
Well,
I had
what
both
she's
parents in the home.
alluding to, so that you understand, what you're appealing to is the normalcy of X thing. So you could say, let's assume for a second that 9 out of 10 people have a single mom, right? Then yeah, sure, 9 out of 10 people might appeal to wait till your mom gets home. But in the common denominators where there's both a mother and a father, almost everybody in those dynamics appeals to wait till dad gets home. You see the distinction?
But I'm also very embarrassed to disappoint my father. Like,
Well, okay,
I would never
I
be a
gotta move things on.
prostitute
Maddie, can you read
because
this, please?
disappoint
Oh,
them,
read
not
this
be
one.
hurt
I
by
have
them.
lots of experience with black culture. Typical white women. Please allow the black woman to smack her upside the head.
Only if she was to say something crazy.
All right.
Well,
we have
just to be
enough.
honest, I'm a straight person, so I know I look white, but I
You
honestly
are
You're
grew
not
up.
a
a
street person, so you're
What?
basically
Yeah.
insinuating
Wait,
all
what's-
black people
No,
came
no,
from the
I'm
street.
not. I'm not at all. But in this demographic where I happen to live,
The mean streets
Corona?
of Palos Verdes.
no, I grew up in
Yeah.
Yucaipa. It's in the Inland Empire.
Which is
It's-
white prominent, like it's
in
dominantly
Right. So I'm just saying, though, I didn't identify with the white culture. I identified with the Hispanic and the black cultures because that was the
The
socioeconomic
mean
status that I came from.
streets of the Inland Empire. Hold on. I don't know. Maybe there's. Some,
What's up?
Black people are more
Yeah,
than just
no,
the hood.
Yucaipa.
No,
worked a
I
lot-
know,
it's
and I
white
know, and I'm not
dominant.
making a blanket statement. I'm simply saying
Can you-
my experience and my
Your
little,
truth.
my truth. That's just my truth of my experience.
wait, you.
My
Where
truth.
You kip. What is it? Where you?
Not,
Yucaipa.
not the truth.
Yucaipa.
Y-U-C-A-I-P-A.
San Bernardino.
It's a little nicer now because we had housing developments come in, but it was pretty ghetto, and I lived in the worst ghetto part. I mean, I was almost getting kidnapped and stuff going to school.
Yeah, Yucaipa wasn't safe for sure.
It was not safe.
Okay.
What is it? What's the? It's
I don't
really
know.
dominant.
There's not very many.
What are you laughing
I just know it's not the black community.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
definitely
it
grew
is
up
not
middle
having
class. I don't know
safe
nothing
there,
about
though.
the hood.
I didn't grow up
nothing.
middle class. I grew up
So
very
wait,
I grew up middle
wait,
class.
Nick, can you
Period.
can
I
you
got
look up-
everything I ever
Nick, just
wanted from my
the
parents.
Yucaipa. Wait, hold on. I'll do it in private chat. Just because I feel like
You
this
gotta
is.
go Yucaipa from the freaking
But
early
the
90s.
fact that you
It's okay, it's
even
okay. It's
related
all right.
the streets
Boom, boom, boom.
with knowing black culture, like what's that about?
Yeah,
Hip hop. Listen to the
What?
hip hop lyrics, you
Huh?
guys,
I
and
grew
that
up
is
on
street
soul and
culture.
R&B. I didn't grow up
Okay,
with
so
that.
listen to
that.
Megan
Pull it
Thee
up,
Stallion,
pull it up.
listen to
Hip-hop
Cardi
is
B, the way that
What's
these
the
women are
demographics?
talking.
That's
Demographics.
ratchet.
But
That's
I'm
not
saying
black people.
that
Scroll
is
down.
my soul.
Scroll
That's my
down.
soul.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay, wait. down.
Ratchet black
Eminem
people,
is
that's
one
my
of
soul.
the best
Here, we're going
hip-hop
to
See, I
2000.
knew it.
Hey,
79%.
Hey,
Travel it.
Scroll down there.
1.6 Africa.
2000. Scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down.
Crazy.
Hold on.
You got to incorporate San Bernardino because that's
Hold
where
on.
I
Oh,
was
you said
rolling.
Yucaipa.
Okay.
I know that's where I lived.
Okay.
I
Hold
was
on.
partying in
Zip
San
it.
Bernardino.
Zip it good. Whoosh, zip it. Okay.
Oh, I like that.
The racial makeup was 85% white, 0.9% African American, 1% Native American, 1.2% Asian.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
It makes no
85.
sense.
That's more white than Santa Barbara,
No, I know.
which
I
is
know.
like the
It is.
whitest
I know,
city.
but what I'm simply saying is I didn't
There's a lot of
identify
Latino-
with
we got
that group.
Latinos.
I had
How
to
many
go
black people
identify
you
with
seen?
the
One?
other
So you have
group
half
of
one,
people.
two
It's
black people that you saw
85%
that you
white.
like.
But I
She's
wasn't
from
just
the
hanging out with them.
streets
I
of
was going to
Yucaipa.
San Bernardino and going into clubs, and I was getting into clubs
the
because I have
clubs of
ass.
She is like heavy Mexican.
I would. Black people love me. Black guys love me.
And black people love it.
Okay.
They do. Well, I'm saying the men. I'm saying the
Confirm or
men.
deny.
I'm saying the men.
Wait.
The black man
Maddie,
love
could you read
But
this?
I can't. This is
Yeah, it's coming up.
this is too much.